So thank you. Is it my voice audible like for you guys? So I just want to check it out. So if that's the case, like drop a message to me. Okay, I think I assume that, yeah. So thank you, Ashan, Safi, all the people. Okay, yeah, perfect, guys. So let me start with the basic stuff. Like, okay, so as she introduced, like I have a pretty good experience in tech. So I'm more of a tech guy rather than anything else. So around I think 18 plus years of experience I have it. So when I started my career with C and C++. That was my first programming language. Then I worked almost in all the languages that is out there, most of the languages. Okay, so that's how my career graph was. I'll tell the story of my learning and the journey. Okay, one thing I want to set is the expectation of this session. Okay, this session is supposed to introduce you to Python programming and not in the advanced concept. Okay, that I want to make it clear. If somebody is looking for advanced concepts in Python, this is not the right session for you. This is more towards the intro and getting started with the programming kind of it. So that is the session, and I want to show how Python is so simple. Okay, those are the two simple expectations I set for you guys. Okay, if anybody has any other expectations, drop in the message. If I could address in the session, I'll do it, or else I will skip that. Like a, so if it is advanced thing, probably I'll skip it. Okay, so let me look at the chat. My voice is breaking. Okay, I think that is network glitch. I can't do anything. Okay. Okay, got it. So let me start with basic introduction of Python. Okay. Okay, so this is a beginner's guide to Python. It's not an advanced session or anything which I'm going to share, which is hard. Okay, so this is for absolutely beginners, and anyone else who is expecting otherwise would find it so basic. Okay, so I make this as a first request to all of you. This is a basic session, and I expect you know a little bit of programs. Even if you don't know anything, that's fine for me as well. Okay, so typically, so one of the challenges which I here, okay, let me put a question to you all. Like you can reply in the chat. So why do you find programming is hard? Like I see a lot of people asking programming is hard or programming is little challenging. People used to say, okay, if you want OOPS concept, probably I'll take through OOPS, but not fully into the details. Okay, that is for Sai Deepak Reddy. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so if you can reply in chat why programming is hard. If somebody who feels hard, for others it's fine. If you feel easy, that's you are welcome. So what would be the possible reasons? You or your friends might have said the reasons, right? What would be the possible reasons? OOPS algorithm data structure, that is kind of little advanced stuff. Even starting with programming itself is little hard. Okay, less motivation, less self-motivation. Yeah, syntax is one of the biggest challenges. Yes, that's true. Those who worked in C and C++ with pointers, people find it like syntax is horrible, like a double pointer, triple pointer, pointer to the pointer. Those are the challenges. Okay, that is one thing. The second one is Preetham has said logical thinking. Yeah, so some people find it to break it down in a logical way. Okay, so people are asked to mug up things in programming, but ideally it should be a logical thing like a math. Okay, if you try to mug up maths, it will be hard. If you try to solve it, it will be easier. Okay, that is one challenge which yeah, that's true. Okay, makes us think in different perspective, which is confusing. That's true. Logically confusing, that is also true. Okay, because we don't have a logic. Yeah, logic is not taught as a place. Okay, can't hear the voice. Sonia, how about others? Sonia is saying that we are biased to it. Very good. Vignesh says that the bias is more towards like, so all the people who say programming is bad, programming is bad. Okay, so because of that we always get biased. That is one reason. Okay, thank you guys. I'm audible. Yeah, voice is clear. Thank you, thank you. Okay, what else is the reason? One is syntax, another one is logic. Okay, if 1 month gap, forgotten totally. That's true. That is because you try to mug up things rather than working out stuff. Okay, Yuvraj, you are right. Okay, so it happens like so syntax I always forget. Even if you ask me to sit and code now, I'll code, but syntax I'll have a syntax errors. So syntax you have to mug up, which I am not pretty good at. So that is one reason. Anything else? So programming is built, so we should remember it and practice it. Yeah, practice is one of the key things. So that applies for anything, not for programming. So practicing makes you much more builds your muscle memory. That is one thing. So another question is Python or JavaScript, which is better? Both are good. So I don't have anything else. Like it's like asking which bike is better. So it's all more towards the application of it. So some bikes are good in certain things. For example, if you are get into web development and especially in the front end, JavaScript would be better. If you are in the back end, there also you can use JavaScript or Python. Both the things you can apply it. So it's not like one versus the other. It's more of a combination of both. So you need to learn both, or preferably one JavaScript as a full thing. Okay. So what are the other reasons? What are the other reasons why programming is hard? Errors. Exactly. Isaac was right. So it gives you a lot of errors, and so that is the biggest challenge which a student will have it. Okay, as a starting point or a beginner, that is one of the challenges which people will have it. So that is one thing. Okay, and but beyond this, there is one more biggest challenge which I hear it from most of the students. Okay, so when I sit with the student and ask them for any clarification, so they'll say all these reasons: too much to remember, errors, sir, syntax is hard, sir, all those things. But if you ask like there is something called 5 whys. If you ask why 5 times, you will get the true reason for it. So in the fifth why, most of the times, the reason I get it from the students is they'll say that, sir, I am not from a computer science background in my school. I am from a biology background, or I am from a commerce background. So because of that, I find hard in learning programming. So how many of you have heard the reason? So I am from a mechanical group. I am from an electronics background. I am from a triple E background. So programming is hard. So how many of you heard this story or heard this reason? Yeah. So most of you would have, if you ask deep down, so that is the one common reason people will have it. Okay. So I see, if you see me, I am in my school days, I never touched computers. So I am from a biology background. So I took biomax in my school days. My father wanted me to be a doctor, like any other Indian dad would want to be, but I'm not interested in that. So ultimately, I ended in engineering because one of my uncles said it is the one which will take you to a good job. Okay, so that is the stuff. Okay, so typically so in the school days I never touched program anything in computers. Like so in my school there used to be a computer lab which we are not allowed to enter as a biology students. So some of my friends who was there in computer science will put a lot of scene or like a lot of flair, like saying that they are the geeks of the world kind of it. Okay, and when I joined first year, that was my irritating stuff with my friends. Like one of my friend, he is from computer science background in school, so he used to tell that computer science is pretty hard, you can't learn, so you don't try to learn. That's what he used to say. Like so for example, how so in the first year, okay, 1 second, I'll make one small change. Okay. Yep. Okay. So in my school, when I joined the first year in the college, so one of my friend, I said, right, computer science guy, he used to put a lot of scene. The other guy, the same way, I had one more guy who's from electronics background. He is from triple E department, and he taught me programming. So when he taught programming to me, I didn't have computer at the lab. Okay. So okay. Hemalata, I'll get back to you soon. Okay. So first thing is like so at the when I was in college, so my friend said that for learning programming, you don't need computer at all, or even the laptop at all. That is what is thing. So I was first confused. So how come somebody learn programming without a device, which is the computer or laptop? Okay. So that is where he said that, hey, go and solve the code in paper. Okay, write the program in paper, then you will start learning things. For example, he used to give me one program a day. For example, addition of 3 numbers. First he will teach addition of 2 numbers, and he will say addition of 5 numbers, or small simple programs like simple interest, all those basic formula based programs, and he will ask me to write it in the paper. And in the first 2 to 3 weeks, he used to be the compiler. Like he used to correct me. Okay, this syntax looks, I mean, this line looks correct, this line is wrong. So if I give output like this, you will get output. He will correct it. So I was pretty happy at the time. Okay, so that is where I understood, okay, for learning programming, okay, the syntax or the error should not be a blocker. So the easiest way to start with it is with the paper. Okay, the paper will never throw you an error, or paper will never say you that Python is not installed, or indentation error, it will never say. So it will tell you whether your code is, I mean, you can correct your code on your own, and you can act as a compiler. So I did this for around 3 to 4 months. After a point of time, I realized, okay, I could learn programming like any other guy. And I started slowly moving my learning part into the next level. For example, I learned data structures, algorithms, okay, all the whoops and other things, whichever you are saying. I started learning this, and I became a decent programmer, and I got my first job in as a programmer in Honeywell. Okay, I mean, the reason I'm saying is getting into Honeywell was a hard thing. Like out of 6,000 people, they took around 60 people. Think about the ratio of intake. Okay, that hard it is, but I was able to crack it because I started my programming on my own in paper. Okay, so, and that is where I understood the logic part of it. So after the logic part of it, the syntax is pretty easy. Like you Google it, you will correct it. So you take help from your friend, and most of the syntax errors are repeatable errors. Probably first 10 programs would be frustrating stuff. After the 11th program or 12th program, you know the error pattern. Okay, this is the error pattern. So mostly this would be the error. Like that, you can fix it. Okay, the same thing I'm putting it. Like typically when you learn programming, okay, you have 4 parts to it. One is balancing part, which is nothing but logic in this case. For example, when you want to learn logic, so that is same as balancing thing. So for balancing, you don't need to ride a bike. Just riding a cycle is good enough. Okay, for learning balancing. So that is how I did it. Like, so for the bicycle is my paper, not the computer. So I did learn the balancing stuff. And then the second part is the basic mechanics or the internals, which is where a little bit of syntactical stuff, little advanced stuff like whoops and other things, whichever in the particular language, I started to learn it. And as I move on, I started learning more on the internals part, where that's where the data structure, algorithm, operating system, all those came into the picture. And the last part is reaching the destination as a biker. So where you have to build the application out of it. So learning program is not just not to learn or mug up stuff. It is to build something. So that is the key important part. Okay, you might be weak in the first 3, but if you are weak in the last part, you are not useful for anyone, even for you or for the company. Okay, so that is how it was. Okay, so if you ask me to pick these 3, okay, if as a programmer, I will start with balancing, which is a decent one, which is where the logic comes in. The second part is a gear part, which you take help from the Google, okay, for the syntax part. And the reaching the destination, this is where you can take help from the mentor or a friend who can help you in building an app. Okay, there are a lot of good videos as well. You can get started on your own if you have gained that expertise in that. That is also fine for us. Okay, so let's see why companies will hire you. Okay, if you see from a company perspective, the company will hire you not for your syntax, not for your logic. Okay, those are the checkpoints. Okay, ideally they hire for you for reaching a destination, which is completing a task. It could be a script, or it could be an application, or it could be a website or something, whatever it is. Okay, that is the primary thing. So rest of the other things will help you to do that. Okay, and for example, if you want to learn balancing, which is the coding logic in this case, in GUVI we have something called code kata. You can get started with it. Probably I'll switch to that part and I'll show it to you. For example, if you guys have a GUVI, log into GUVI if you have a GUVI account. Okay, so I'll log in. You can also log into it. So the account creation is free, so you don't need to hesitate. Okay, so go on, sign in. Okay, do this step. So once you're done, somebody drop a message saying that I have logged in, because I need that confirmation from you guys. Anybody who is logged in, just to drop a message that I have logged in. Not everybody need to do it. At least one person is good enough. So are you able to log in into this? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So Nachiappan and Nishan, thank you guys. Okay. So if you go in this, like we have a few things. One is called code kata. Okay. I'm just opening that into a new tab. So here you have a problems which needs to be attacked in a systematic way. Okay. For example, start from input output and then go with the absolute beginner and then start with mathematics. Okay. Little bit on array, string. Okay. And general basics. If you are able to cover this first 6 parts, so most of your you will be able to crack most of the first 2 rounds of your company interviews, any company interviews. But you should complete this. Okay, so all the interview questions will come only from these areas. Okay, they'll ask a string question, they'll ask array question, they'll ask some input output related question and a little bit of math question. These are the things which they'll ask it. So start with this. So if you get into it, you will know the question pattern, all those things. So, and also here we have the test cases, okay, which you will note as you progress. Okay, right now I'm not doing it. So that is one good thing which will help you to do it. Okay, so in this session, we'll be using Python online IDE, which is GUVI IDE. We'll be using it. Okay, so typically if you have a system, you can try it in your system also. For example, so I have a terminal. Okay, so you can, this is MacBook. So for Windows guys, you can install Python from here. I'll show you the place where to go and check it out. Okay, go and check Python 3 download. It will directly take you to this place, python.org. Okay, so if you go and check it out, so here you can download the latest version here. Okay, click it, it will download, and for Windows guys, it's next. Okay, it's straightforward. Okay, so that is the stuff. So you can get it started. But right today, I'm not going to use this one. So this I'm going to use Python 3. Okay, so we have Python 2 versions. I'll show that also. So when you type generally Python, in general, it is assumed as Python 2.7. Okay, and it is not recommended right now because earlier version it was there. So when you do that, you will get this triple arrow. Okay, here you can type this one. For example, print. Hey guys, hey all, from Arun. Okay, so it will print it right away in the next line. So it's called interactive editor, where whatever you type line by line, it will give the interactive reply to you. Okay, but I'm not going to use this. Okay, this is just for your information. I'm going to exit this. The same way you have something called Python 3, which is the version which I'm going to use today. And even that also, I'm not going to use it in this command line. I'm going to use it in the GUVI IDE. Okay, so we'll be using it here. Choose Python 3. Okay, not Python 2. Okay, you go to GUVI, and then in the GUVI you have IDE. Okay, so I'll start from the first so that you guys can understand it. So once you log in, okay, where is practice? So go to IDE. Okay, it will take you to this. Okay, this is the first step. This is what we are going to do it today. Okay, we are going to start with it here. And here I'll introduce the IDE into two parts. This is a place where you will type your code. If you are familiar with any IDE compiler, online compiler, it is same as that. And this is a place where we'll be giving input. For example, welcome from Arun Prakash. Okay. And when you run it, this play button is a run button. Okay. So it will show you the output. Okay. See here I have an error. Okay. So if you have see the error, what the error always one of the important thing as a developer is read the error. Don't get scared of the error, because error is part of the life. Okay. If you are a biker or if you are a cyclist, you will know it. You can't learn without falling. Okay. That is the basic stuff. Okay. So here also the basic way in programming also it is same as the error is a part of it. For example, it says that script.sh. Okay. So actually this says it is syntax error. Okay. The reason for that is like I've selected the language as bash. I don't know when it got selected. Okay. Ideally it should be Python 3. Okay. If I go on run it again, the same code. Okay. It will give you the output. Okay. I'll share the link to you all, guys. Okay. Copy. And then let me try to put it for all. Everyone in the meeting. Okay. This is a link. So you can click the link and then start with it. So this is a simple Python program. I haven't explained anything about Python. I have just showed this is a program and this is how you run the output. Okay. So that's what I have done it. So yeah, always bash comes as a default thing. Yeah. So you can change it as Python. So since I went and came back, it has changed it. Thank you, Surender. Okay. So now we have seen where we are going to run it. So I hope everybody was able to go into the IDE and compile it. So anybody is having any issues? If that is the case, just to drop a message. I'll try to address if I can. So you should be able to go to this IDE and then run it with this black button, which is in the play kind of button at the end. Okay, right hand side. Okay, I got some of the raise hands thing, which means that I assume that it is working fine. So the companies generally hire you for completing a task. Okay, the task could be of anything, but they hire you because they want you to do a task. Okay, if you are not able to do a task at any point of time, then it will be hard for you to get hired in any company, not the company. Even if you are the boss of the company, you will hate you, because it is your job to complete a task which is given. Okay, so typically we'll start with the programming world. Okay, in programming world, it is same as math world. Programming is a kind of one chapter in math. Okay, in math we have algebra, trigonometry, all those things, right? The same way programming is like combination of few chapters in mathematics. Okay, the same thing you can use it in the life as well. Okay, for example, okay, thank you. Okay, in the script mode, okay, so okay, I'll get back to you guys on the error part. In the script mode error part, I'll show that as well. Okay, so in programming we have few concepts which you need to understand. Okay, if you're able to understand the concepts, you can get started with the basic logic. Okay, this is what my friend taught me in the first 6 months. Okay, it took 6 months for me. You can learn it in 6 days actually. Okay, because at the time I was playful, I was with in college, so I have to roam around, so I took 6 months. So you guys can learn this in 6 days actually. Okay, it is not that hard. Okay, okay, so next one is the first one. Something is called loop. In programming world we use this word a lot of times. It's called looping. Okay, so looping is not a new thing. We used to do it in our life itself. For example, if you have played a hide and seek game, okay, so you would have used it. For example, how you play hide and seek, you will start with a number like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then you will go and start chasing the people. You start with the number and go and end on the number. Okay, there is a starting number and ending number, and you do increment. If you are a good guy, you will increment one by one. If you are a mischievous guys like me, okay, I used to do it like 1 3 5 7 9 10. Okay, I'll come. Okay, so the increment doesn't need to be always one addition of one. It could be addition of two, some sequence. It could be two, addition of 2, addition of 3, addition of 5. It could be any sequence. That depends on the person or the logic. Okay. So this is the 3 things which you need to learn in a loop. So in a loop, you have 3 things. One is the starting number, second one is the ending number, and third is the increment. These 3 things are pretty important in this. Okay. The next one is the multiple names. For example, we used to have a lot of names in the world. Okay. For example, it's called Sridevi. If let's assume there is Sridevi, the king's style of learning. Okay. Sridevi 1, Sridevi 2, Sridevi 3, like Raja 1, or a lot of Ashoka 1, Ashoka 2, like that we'll have it, right? So that is called indexing. So we index the king's name or the family name, and then we'll start with it. Okay. Yeah, Dilection, you are right. Okay, that's loop. Okay, we'll come back to that. I'll come back to the syntaxes a little later. First, let me introduce the concept first, so that you are familiar with the concept. Then we'll go on to the syntax part. Okay, don't mix these 2 things, because when you mix these 2 things, that's where the real problem starts. Okay, without understanding the concept, if you go and apply the syntax, that's where the challenge is. Okay. And there is some another style is, for example, everybody will have a nickname. Okay. If, for example, in my class itself, I have 3 Aruns. Okay. Arun is a pretty common name. So everybody was there. There is a Arun, short Arun, tall Arun, black Arun, like that different Arun, you will have it. Okay. Sometimes we used to have a nickname as bad words as a nickname, and we call them as well. So it used to be like that. Okay. These are the 2 ways where if you have multiple people with the same names, which is you can differentiate. Okay. And the third part is the assignment part, or the semester part. Okay. This is like functions in programming world. Okay. So where you are asked to do a certain task, and you do it and give it back to them. Okay. For example, like in my class, a couple of my friends, they have their girlfriends. So our reverse also happens. Like so whenever there is a task given, so they don't do the task, they either give it to the boyfriend or the girlfriend, and they'll do the task for the respective partner and give back to it. Okay. That is same as the functions. Okay. In real world, that is the comparison you should have it. So you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you give an input, they'll give an output. So you give a pen and paper, or a flying kiss, or a chocolate, whatever you want to give it. So that is your input, and the output is your assignment gets completed, and you can submit it to someone else, whoever wants it. It's a professor or a teacher or a miss, whoever it is. Okay. Or even in college days, we used to do in the group studies. For example, I used to study most of the students, guys, used to study only in the last night. Okay. So what we used to do it, like if there is 5 chapters, we split the 5 chapters into 10 parts. Like first chapter, first half, one person will read. First after second part, one person will read, and they'll tell the story after 1 o'clock. Okay. By that way, from 10:30 to 1 o'clock, we would have completed the whole subject. Okay. 5 chapters, 10 parts, 10 stories. You are ready to go and crack the exam. Okay. This is one example for functions. So you split the task to multiple people, and they give a input is which chapter to which page to which page. The output is their knowledge or the story which you want to hear. Okay. So that is the thing. So these are some of the patterns. This is applicable in programming world as well. The first one is called looping. Okay. Second one is called array. Third one is called functions. Okay. And not only this, we have some more activities as well. For example, if you are familiar with these 5 things in any programming language, it doesn't need to be Python. Okay. If you are familiar with these 5 programming languages, you can confidently say that you have crossed 60% of that part in the programming language, whichever the respective languages. Okay. It could be C, C++, Java, Python, C#, it doesn't matter. Okay. If you are familiar with these 5 items, you can proudly say that, hey, I have crossed 50% of the program's concepts. Rest of the 50%, not everywhere you will use it. Sometimes you can Google and solve it. Okay. So we will see all these 5 parts in Python. First is the input and output. Okay. Python is more like a English. Okay. If you can read English, or if you can listen or understand the English which I speak, you are a Python programmer. That level is good enough for you to become a Python programmer. Okay. So for getting input, there is a function called input. Okay. So why I call this a function? Whenever you see this brackets, see, it's called C bracket. Okay. Whenever you see the C bracket, Okay, it's called a function. Okay, so I have two functions. One is a okay, first function is called input is for getting the input. Second one is for printing for your output sake. So let's go back to the IDE. Okay, I'll show you. Now let's jump back to our GUVI IDE. Okay, if you see this, the first line is the print hello world. Okay, so the print is a function and the hello world is the input parameter. Like how you give a chocolate to your girlfriend, this is a parameter. You call this function called print and tell that, hey, print this word hello. Okay, it could be any word, like it could be even a number as well. For example, I can change it to 11. Okay, and I run it, I'll be able to get it. See, I got the number 11 which I have printed here. Okay, and the second one is the input line. Okay, where it gets the input from me and then it again prints it. Okay, so this is a standard value and this is the input which I give it. Like if I go and check the output, so my input is welcome from Arun Prakash. Probably let's change it. Sample for IO, input and output. Okay, this is the input which I'm giving it, which is received by this guy and given to this variable. Okay, user input is called variable. So I'll explain the variable part in a minute. Okay, hold on for it. So that variable is printed here. If you go and run it, you will get the output over here. Okay, so if you guys can run this and then paste it, like for example, add your name here. For example, it should be Arun. Okay, and second, the input could be your second name. In this case, it will Prakash. Okay, and I run it. If I can get the output like this, just paste the output in the chat. I'll be happy to look at your outputs because I want this to be a practical session, not a theory session. So paste your output here. For example, you can copy and then copy this and then paste it here. Oh, sorry, why it is not copying something? Come on, copy, 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 copy. Control V, like this. Okay, so just paste your output so that I'll be happy. At least I'm doing something useful for you guys. So whatever it is, you add your name and your second name and then put it over. I'll wait for another 2 minutes. If you have any queries, just drop a message to me. I'll try to answer. Yeah, Nishant. Thank you, Nishant. Yuva, very good. I got reply from Yuva. Somil, Saha, Malik Arva, Praveen Kumar, Prakash. I need your number. Sorry. Okay, can you explain again? Yes, sure. I'll do that. Okay, I'll explain again. So in this, for printing something, we have a function called print. Okay, this is what the two things. So for printing, we have a function called print. For getting input, we have a function called input. Why it is called as function? Because there is a C bracket at the end. Okay, remember this. So if you go to the IDE, okay, so you will have this code. I'll paste the code for everyone as well, so that you can share, take the link and then get it started. Okay, so in the first line is print Arun. Okay, print, and then whatever I am going to give here, it will be that value. For example, I am learning Python. So I have given this as a inside the print with double quotes. Okay, if I run it, I'll get that as an output. See, I am learning Python. I got it. Okay, so I'll zoom it so that it will be easier for you guys. Okay, zoom if something else goes out. Okay, zoom is working fine, perfectly. Okay, I've zoomed it. Thank you, Santosh, Arun Deshwar, Samuel, Ranjit, all the guys. Okay, so now we got the input. We know two things. Input, there is a way to give input and output. So if I've done it like So you have done, you're officially Python programmer from today onwards, from now onwards. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, how can I do programming? Yes, we'll come back to that as well. Okay, Loga, the great, correct, Loga, you are great. Okay, fine. So now let's move on to the next part of it. So input and then output, that is a part. Okay, let's say if I get the input and add a logic to it, okay, will I get the logic? For example, let's say we'll try to book a cab like Ola or Uber, okay, and we'll try to write a logic for that program. So I'll remove all those things here. Okay, print. Sorry guys, enter your starting point, or let's put it like instead of that, like let's say starting point, start equal to let's say I have start at first kilometer, okay, and I end at 10th kilometer. Okay, I am trying to write the Uber logic without the UI. Okay, I assume the UI input is given as of now, so I am using it. And kilometer cost, okay, let's say kilometer cost per kilometer is 100 rupees. Okay, so what would be the total cost? Total cost equal to, this is a simple logic. What you will do, you will have the ending point, end minus start. Okay, so that you will get that. And like maths, so you do bracket. The reason for bracket is border mass. If you remember with the school math, multiplication gets higher priority, so I want the subtraction to be done first, so I am putting that into a bracket and then putting km cost. Okay, now I got the total cost. I'm going to print total cost. Let's run it and check it. So if I run it, see, I got 900 rupees. So it started at 10th first kilometer and ended at 9th kilometer, which means that I've traveled 9 kilometers. So per kilometer cost is 100 rupees. So when I subtract this and multiply with this one, I was able to get the total cost. Okay, this is how you will start the logical application of your problem. So you don't, when you are trying to write a bigger problem, okay, don't attack the whole problem as a first. Take only the first part and start with that. Okay, here this logic is for building a Ola or Uber. Okay, so if you're able to do that, so this is how you will build the logic part of it. Okay. So you guys can try it out. Yeah, so Yura just put in Shikan Chand Basha. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll reply after the class. So Shivanjali would be the best person for you because she is handling the campus ambassador. This is for his query, so I leave it. Okay, the same way you can try out with something else. So this is how you will. You can, I mean, anybody who wants to reach out to me, you can reach out to my mail ID arunprakash@guvi.in. That is my mail ID. I'll share all those things at the end. Okay. Okay, starting point and ending point. So instead of having always the number, okay, we can say that I want to give that as an input, and I also give that as input, p input. Okay, if I do it, so if I go and give the input, for example, like instead of 1 kilometer, I start at 2nd kilometer and log out at 25th kilometer. Okay, if I run it, I'll get that. Okay, I'm getting an error. Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so it is giving as an error. Okay, so why it is giving as an error, I'll share it. Yeah, somebody is already smart, they know Python already. Okay, so I give us input. I'll explain this little later, give me a minute. So as of now, assume that I'm doing some magic. Don't worry too much about it. Okay, see, I got this one. So right now, what I've done is I've got the input dynamically, like how you select in the map. Whenever in Ola or Uber, you click the map, the input is given and stored at the backend. So what it will share is the whatever the location you have shared, starting location and ending location, that will be sent to the server. And also the cost would be determined based on the time, like if it is a peak hour, if it is a whatever it is, they charge dynamically, right? So that is how it goes on. Okay, I'll share the link to you guys. 1 second, somebody is knocking. Sorry guys. So that is the challenge of working from home. So you get your doors get knocked all the time. Okay. Oh, I shared the link only to Santosh. I'll share it to everyone. Okay. That's a mistake. Okay. So this is how it is. So what we have learned so far is to get an input and print an output. And also we understood there is some logic part which we can be done. Okay, the same way you can so one of the tasks which I will put it in your head is like you go to the shopping mall, right? Okay, or a grocery store. So what you will get billing. Okay, like 10 items, you will get all the 10 items cost and finally add it and print it. Okay, so the same for that you write a program that will be useful for you to start with the logic part. Okay, you can have 10 items or 5 items, whatever it is, you can get it started with that. Okay, that is one part of it. So okay, next is like let's move on to the next small item. So now we know how to write the logic. So based on the input, we added a rule which in this case like a starting minus end into the cost and then added it and got the output. That's how we did it. That's how we start our first program logically. Okay, let's get to the basics. Okay, what I said, there are 5 items, right? The first item is variable. Okay, variable is nothing but a container. Think like your tiffin box. Okay, so this is a variable. Okay, if you want to have multiple items in a same thing, that's called array or list in generally in any programming language. It's called array or list. Depending upon the language, the syntax varies. Forget about those stuff. So right now in the conceptual way, a variable is something which can store one value. Okay, array can store multiple values. That is one thing which you need to understand. Okay, so that is one thing. And when you have multiple values, how do you take it? You will take with like I need the first box, I need the second box, I need the third box. That's how you say it, right? Okay, so your mom will say that the first box has sambar, second box has the chapati, third box has the curry. So like that you will say it, right? The same way. So here also you have index, and the index, through the index you access the value of it. Okay, so that is the stuff. I'll show you the code here. We'll go to the same IDE. Okay, so I'll remove all this code. Okay, let's say students. Okay, I'll have one student. Okay, let's copy somebody's name, Nishant. Okay, so Nishant. Okay, this is one student name, and I want to have students like multiple students. That is where array comes in. Array would be like the square boxes, which is below your number line. You will have the square bracket, right? That is the one. Let's add some more names, which is easier for me. Let me check it. So I'm pretty bad at spelling Dinesh. Yeah, this is an easy name. Dinesh. Okay. The next one is Dishwar. Okay, the next name is Santosh. SANTHOS, Santosh. Next one is Kumar. I'm just adding some random names from the chat I'm putting in. Samuel. Okay. Now I got two variables. The first variable is a normal variable, which has only one name, which is Nishant. The second variable is array or a list. Okay, whatever way you want to call it, we'll call that way. So don't worry about the wordings. Okay, so we are not here to debate on the names. So we are trying to understand Python and the basic programming. Okay, so if you try to print, how do you print? Print student, print students. Okay, that's all. So if I do it, if I go and run it, I'll be able to get all this output. See, I got Nishant and the array, all the people who's having it. Okay, so that is how it is. Okay, so the variable is something which can help you to store something. And if you want to access this one, okay, let's try to access that. Okay, print. Okay, students. So I want to have this item in the student. So what we'll do, 1, 2, 3, that's how we do it, right? Okay, let's try to do it. 3. Okay, I'll remove all the stuff so that it'll be easier for us. So I'm trying to access Santosh. Okay, when I do it, what happens is, if you see that I'm getting Kumar. Okay, ideally Santosh is a guy who is supposed to be here. Let's say I want to have Kumar. What I'll do, I'll give 4. That's a normal behavior which we do it, right? The first different box, second different box. Okay, see, when I give 4, it gives Samuel. It is confusing. So let's say if I want Deshwar, so then what I have to give? So let me try 2. Okay, if I give try 2, so ideally Deshwar would come, but Santosh is coming in. So what if you see that there is a pattern, which means that there is a one number less than the actual thing. So if I want to get Deshwar, I have to give 1. Okay, if I run it, I'll get Deshwar. If I want to get Dinesh, I have to give 0. If I run it, I'll get that. So in programming world, we have a strange behavior. There is a reason for it, but for the first timers, it will look strange. The arrays will start with the index of 0, not with the index of 1 or 2. Okay. In real world, we always count numbers from 1. In a programming world, there is a reason. Okay. As of now, I'll say that for some reason, we'll start from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is one thing which you need to be very familiar with. Like, okay. Yeah. Somebody has Lakshya Kumar has done the right thing. Okay. So the list position always starts from 0 instead of 1. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I give 4, I'll get Samuel properly. Okay, reload, inactivity. Yeah, I got Samuel. Okay, so remember that if you give 5, that's a good question. So one of the question is like, what if I give 5? There is nothing, it is available. So what will happen? So what it says is index error. It says list out of range. Boss, you have only 4 elements or 5 indexes, 4 indexes, but you are asking which is out of range. So it's like your mobile reply, the subscriber is out of the network. The same way it gives you the answer. Okay, so that's a simple thing. So one of the best thing about programming is whatever you want to try, you can try it. Nobody is going to question it. Okay, nobody is going to say it's bad or good. Okay, so that is why I say I'm an introvert. So I love programming because it is between me and program. So nobody is going to know whether I've done a good program, bad program, or how many errors I've made it. Nobody is going to do it. Okay, so that always remember that I love errors because it is between me and this code. Nobody is going to scold me. Okay, this is one thing which we understood. So we understood the first basic part of which is list and the variables. Okay, so list is a single value item. Okay, let's see what happens if I give the value again. Okay, let's say I had Nishant, right? Let's say the same variable name. I'm not going to change the variable name. So instead of Nishant, I'll give Shivanjali. Okay, if I do it and I print student alone, Control C and then paste it. Control V, student. Okay, so first what I'm trying to experiment here is I've stored one value which is Nishant and I'm trying to store the second value. Okay, what would be the output is the question. I'll comment this one. This line in Python, we have something called hash. Hash means it is comment line. Okay. So if I run it, so I'll get Shivanjali. So what it means is whatever you kept at the last before whatever you are accessing, that is what you will get it. Okay. You might have 100 names in between. It doesn't matter. For example, I can store so Nishant 1, Nishant 2, Nishant 3. I can store it. It doesn't matter. Okay. How many things are there? It doesn't matter. Whatever is in the last before this one, it'll get it. For example, if I move the print, okay, before Shivanjali, okay, before storing Shivanjali. So what is the last element, which is Nishant 3? I'll get that as an output. Okay, see. So whatever is the last value, which is before me, okay, that is what you'll get as accessed. Okay. So that is one thing which you need to remember. Okay. So can we store name, roll number, date of birth? Yes, you can. Okay. That is the beauty of it. In Python, you can store maybe roll number is 110. Okay. Date of birth is date of birth. Okay. DOB, let's say 10, 12, something. And then phone number 917699 blah, blah, blah. Okay. If I give it and I try to print students. Okay. If I try to do it, why it is not coming? What I've done is I've stupidly commented the line. Okay. So since it is commented, there is no variable like student, so it is not coming in. See, I got all the values. Yeah. So Python is that beautiful thing. So you don't need, if it is there in other languages, you have something called data types and it will have all the challenges. In Python, you can store everything in a single item. So just you need to be willing to learn as a programmer. That's all. Okay. So that is one thing. So now we understood the variables. We have understood one concept out of 4. Okay. The second one is loops. Okay. So the loop is like, as I said, the hide and seek thing. Okay. That is the second thing which you need to do. Let's say, there is my code here. So I want to print this all in a one line. Okay. So what I'll do is for I in range. Okay. Let's say how many items? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items, right? Range of 4. There is a function called range inbuilt. Okay. And then I use print students of I. Okay. 1 second. Somebody is knocking the door. Okay. So now, sorry, I'm back, guys. So let me run it. Let's check it. See, I got all the things one by one. Okay. So what it does is like it took a range. Okay. From 0, range is a function. I'll explain the range function a little later. Right now I'm parking. I'm just going to focus on the loop part alone. Okay. So in the loop, if I give just print I, I'll show the I values. Okay. If I print I, what it will give us, it will give me 0 to 3. Okay. So what it means is, so instead of students of I, which means the students of 0, it gives Dinesh. Student of 1, it gives 110, 2, 3, 4, like that it is. that is how it is. Okay, very simple. If I run it, I'll get all the elements here. Okay, so this is called loop. Okay, so there are a lot of variations in the loop. Right now, I'm not going to. Yeah, you can print it in the reverse way also. For example, let's say I want to reverse from one range to another range. Okay, that I'll give as a task to you, because right now, if I do it, it will be easier. I don't want to do it, but it is doable. It is straightforward doable. Okay, so I'll explain again. Okay, so the loop is something which helps you to do something repeatedly. Okay, so let's say I start from 0. By default, it is 0. Okay, and by default, it is 1 increment. Okay, that's why it is not given. The range has 3 parameters. So in that, I'm going to use only one, which is the boundary. Okay, starting point is 0. So what it does is it gives the value 0 to I. Okay, 0 first when it generates 0. So the range is a function. So what I said for function is something which will give you something. Okay, think your girlfriend, your boyfriend, give a chocolate, they'll give assignment. So here I am giving a number, she will give a number. In this case, the starting number would be 0. Okay, I store the 0 automatically in I, and I use student of I, which is student of 0. Then it will become go back student of 1, student of 2, student of 3, like that it will go on. Okay, that is how it is. Copy, and I'm going to give this code for everyone so that you guys can try it out. Yeah, guys, try this one and then try all variations. For example, instead of 5, instead of 4, if I give 2, what happens? Okay, instead of 2, if I give -2, what happens? Try all those things. Nothing is going to be nobody is going to question you. Okay, try all the parameters whichever you want to try it. Okay, so once you try, just paste the output. If one of you guys paste it, that will be good enough for me to move on. Yeah. Okay. Right now, I want to give a break. Okay. One of my teammates wants to have a sharing. Okay. I'll stop the sharing. So after this, you can take it from here. I'll come back and teach the rest of the stuff. So right now, my teammate will share some other information with you guys.
Thank you, Arun, sir.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Deepak, sir, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. 1 minute, guys. Hi guys. First of all, thank you very much for joining us. Around 160 people wants to learn Python, and that too at 5 p.m. in the evening is very rare to see. And thank you very much for joining. And I believe that Arun sir, has given a great insight on how Python works, how it's going to impact your career, and taking it forward. So just just give me around 20 minutes, guys. I just wanted you to know more about GUVI and how we are making impact on a lot of students' life. So basically, I want you to know, where GUVI is going to take you, and where GUVI has taken few candidates, through the journey of, career transition or starting a new career, getting a new job and taking it forward. So just wanted to share you a few details that will definitely, help you in getting things done. And obviously Arun sir is our CEO and founder. So basically Arun sir would have already told you he has around 20 years of experience. So that too, one common name that you'll see with our founders is basically they've all worked in PayPal. So obviously tech people running the show is basically different ball game when it comes to other institutes where management people would run the show. So where Arun sir has already built around 7 products from the scratch, and he's almost it's around 10,000 students Arun sir had already impacted on. And obviously you'll be getting to know more about Arun sir and our journey that we've gone through, and how many students that we've impacted and taking it forward. So these are our co-founders. One common thing that you'll find here is all our PayPal employees. So they've been there, they've achieved a lot of things, and they've come and taken it forward. And another interesting thing that I wanted to tell you here is everybody knows about Anna University, I believe, right? Everybody knows about Anna University and around 438 colleges that Anna University has. And basically one major thing that you would like see therein, like around 2 years ago, where Python was introduced on the curriculum of Anna University, where we were the entire our GUVI team was there basically designing the curriculum with Anna University for Python program. So that is the impact that we have made, guys. So GUVI is already making an impact in a lot of students' life, and we were part of the syllabus designing committee as well as faculty development program. Obviously, 438 colleges, and every college would have multiple faculties. We have trained all the faculties in the entire Anna University and taking it forward. So this is a common thing that you'll see all tech people taking it forward and making a change in your career, or giving you the requirement to start off your career in IT. And this is a recent inclusion in our team, basically Smriti Mandana, and she's an Indian cricketer, and that too getting a trust of an Indian cricketer. That too basically she is won recently an ICC award as well. So becoming a brand ambassador for GUVI is one thing that we would take it forward with having a bigger relationship with another big names in the industry as well. And obviously, these are recognitions that we've done. So we are an IIT incubated company, and I am Ahmedabad incubated company. So if you check on IIT, it is the top notch in the tech side of things. And I am, obviously, everybody knows basically this is the top notch in the management. IIT and IIM Ahmedabad is a bigger deal. So bigger, trust factor that you can have when it comes to investing programs in GUVI. And so this is a recent news that we have taken it forward. Arun sir and Bala sir, our co-founders, are with Ministry of Education minister basically. So we are tied up with government for the AI for India event, and getting the trust of government. Not many institutes would be able to take it forward, right? So you are going to join an institute which is basically recognized by IIT, IIM, and Government of India. And obviously you must have few people would be there in the webinar where they would have known about this Guinness World Record event, where every participant was given a Guinness World Record certification for completing the learning with us for 24 hours. Within 24 hours we had around more than 1,50,000 students learning with us. And obviously everybody knows IIT incubation. We are inside the IIT campus. And this is the place where, if pandemic was not there, this is the place where you would have, come and learn with us. But everything is now moved online, and where we are making an impact in online. A lot of, I'll share you the placement statistics very soon on how we are impacting students and taking it forward. And this is brand recognition, where you need to know we are recognized with top-notch companies as well. Google for Education, we are partnering with them. So your certification would have Google for Education partner. And these are few accreditations that we have, IIT, IIM, and AICET, NASCOM. So we are very soon partnering with AWS and IBM for your certifications as well. And so when it comes to the program that we have something called full stack development program, which would come along with these top, contents would be there. You'll have Python, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, Angular, React, Node. So these all things that you learn with us. And most importantly, Arun sir would have told you about how important is data structures and algorithm in cracking of top-notch companies, right? So we have Mr. Anand. He's currently working in Amazon. So he's going to be one of the person along with Arun sir who would basically guide you on DS and Algo, which is very, very helpful for you to in cracking of bigger top-notch product-based companies. So these are few projects that you'll be working on. So you will have a lot of hands-on projects which is given by the companies. It's not going to be just a random project which you do it. So here you would have hands-on projects learning with us and implementing with us and taking it forward. So a few mentors are top-notch, industry mentors. You'll have, people from Zoho, Freshworks, Samsung, Google. So you have top-notch guys from, PayPal. So you have, candidates, who are going to mentor you from Flipkart. These are top-notch mentors. We wanted to bring in best in industry to train you guys in taking it forward. And few mentors from IIT as well would come and take it forward. And as I've told you, top-notch mentors from top-notch companies who's going to come and take it forward with your learning. And these are a few of the alumni who've got placed. Basically, these are top-notch companies that all product-based companies, service-based companies. We have tied up with them in taking it forward. We have had many candidates who've got placed through us in taking it forward. So, like for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to explain you why GUVI is taking care of your placements and how GUVI is impacting your life as well. Obviously, everybody would have known by now that we are GUVI, where like located at inside the campus. So no other institute can be located inside the campus. We are the only institute to be located inside the IIT campus. And obviously, this is run by tech people. Our founders are from PayPal. You have mentors from top-notch product-based companies, IIT alumni who's going to come and train you. And one interesting thing here is, if you check on this fourth point, you have basically CEOs of top 113 product-based companies. That is CEOs of top 113 product-based companies who are designing this curriculum and taking it forward with your placements. Because you learn from the best, and you basically have to understand what is the requirement of the companies. Then only you take it forward. And the best part here is all the let's say if you're taking the major percentage of the students, 43% of our students are basically from like non-IT background. They are from chemical engineering, they are from mechanical engineering, they are from biotechnology, biomedical. So that is the impact that we are making. Even people from non-IT, people from BBA background, people with zero coding knowledge can come and join us in impacting your career and taking it forward, guys. You don't need to have whether many would be there with 10 years gap or 8 years gap or 6 years gap, or starting off your career. You might be from 2019 or 2018 or 2010 passed out, where you want to start off your career in IT. We are there to completely support you for the same. And so when it comes to the best part here is, you have, like basically 1:1 doubt clearing session. If you have any doubt clearing session that you wanted to take it forward, we have mentors who can support you with the doubt clearing sessions as well. And, that's how it's going to be working on. And another interesting thing that Arun sir was talking about is project completion, tasks, and everything from day one. Whatever you're going to learn, right? Everything is moving into your digital portfolio, which is your GitHub. So like right from day one till you complete of your program, you have a digital portfolio in your hand. So all your projects, tasks, assignments, everything that you've done, everything would be there, which is going to be very impactful when you're taking it forward for your interviews. And the best part here is we are basically coming to a level where 600 hours of learning in our projects, right? Learning in our tasks, projects is equivalent to 1 year of work experience, because all these projects, tasks are given by the companies. So that's the kind of learning that you're going to have with this. And you'll have unlimited access to Google, Facebook developers meetup, a lot of events like this, webinars. You'll have unlimited access to this and taking it forward, guys. And this is the most important thing, and everybody would be interested to learn, listen to us, basically why we are interested in placing you. The next 2 to 3 slides are, very, very important for you when it comes to understanding why GUVI is interested in placing you. There might be a scenario where, you would be wanting to know more about placements, how GUVI is helping you out with your placements, right? I'll give you few points, 3 to 4 more slides to help you out and understand how we are making an impact, why we are interested in placing you. Okay, so let's talk about like how things are working in industry side. You take Upgrad, you take Simply Learn, or you take any other institute for that matter. Okay, so what do they work on is you take these top notch, like let's say for example, companies who are well established, or like institutes who are well established. What is the problem with these institutes are they have around more than 1,000 or 2,000 students learning from pan India. So what happens is they're not having a specific placement team with them. So now if you check on these brands that I've mentioned, they would have something called Hirist platform. So Hirist platform is nothing but a mini Naukri. So if you ask them for placements, what is the issue with them is they would tell you, I will give you premium access of Naukri or mini Naukri or Hirist platform. You can use that platform for 6 months until you get placed. The problem with that platform is it is nothing but just like a mini Naukri. You'll have to apply for job portals. You'll have to search on for jobs, how to apply for jobs and stuff like that would be an issue. But here, right from your job application till you get a job offer, everything is done from our end. We have a separate placement cell that is available, where your application, right from your job application till you get a job offer, everything is helped through us basically. That's how it's going to be working on. And there is another thing also which you don't know. There are a lot of institutes who will tell you, I will guarantee you, I will give you money back guarantee if you're not getting placed. So that is the institute, that's how they're working on. But what you don't know basically is there is something called terms and conditions, or an asterisk mark that they put it on. So that is nothing but something called placement eligibility assessment or placement eligibility project, which they don't tell it openly. So where what happens is, once you finish off the program, you'll get to know that there is something called placement eligibility assessment and placement eligibility project. And they would say, once you finish off this, then only you're eligible for placement. So what happens? 6 months you finish off the program, and the rest of the 6 months, they'll give you this kind of a eligibility assessment or project to do. And only then you're eligible for placements. Just imagine your 1 year of your life is already gone in learning and preparing yourself for the placements. What happens? That 1 year is gone. Then how are you going to search out for placements? Correct. So these are few issues that is happening outside, which doesn't happen in GUVI. And we are directly partnering with around 300 placement partners, where we get the requirements from companies in hand. We train you as per the requirements and we place you. That's how we're going to have and take it forward. And these are few important points that I wanted to explain to you in depth, where, next 3 more slides are very, very important, guys. So when it comes to placement cell, we have a separate placement cell at IIT Madras Research Park in our office, with, basically focusing only on product-based companies, only on development role, and that to higher package in your preferred location. Let's say, for example, for each and every location, for example, there will be candidates from Tamil Nadu, there'll be candidates from Bangalore who would be attending the, basically the program, right? So what do? We have 5 dedicated people who are basically only to onboard these companies from each and every location. So in that case, what happens? You want your location and placements in Hyderabad or Bangalore. Our team is there to support you for the same and taking it forward, guys. So these are few things. As I told you, it's not, basically this is how institutes work. A job assistance, job support, job guarantee with terms and condition, where we are basically helping you. Just give your 100% effort. That's the only thing that is required. You finish up the task, you finish off the projects, everything, it's taken care from our end. Once you give your 100% effort, the commitment is the only thing that is required from our end. And another thing, so there would be candidates, there would be, students who are attending this, who already have an offer around 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs or 15 lakhs. So what happens basically here is, we have a process of setting where you'll start off from the highest package, right from 25 lakhs, 20 lakhs, then you come to the, lower packages, 25 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 10 lakhs. So in that case, you'll start off from the highest to the minimum. So in that case, you'll not even reject an offer. So let's say another benefit that also we are providing you with is lesser than 10 lakhs. If you're getting placed lesser than 10 lakhs, we are ready to give you 10 more companies about 10 lakhs basically. So in that case, you are given an equal opportunity to crack off bigger potential, because we see that potential in you guys and taking it forward. And it's not going to be a random off-campus posted on job links where you'll have to apply for the program or jobs and taking it forward. Right from, as I told you before, right from end-to-end placements, right from your job application till you get an offer letter, everything is taken care from our end, where you'll be kind of provided with a letter from our end, where we are going to take care of your placements until you get placed, is the guarantee that we are going to take it forward. But it's very, very important that you give your 100% effort in taking it forward, guys. So 2 more slides, which is very important to understand how things are going to work on. So why GUVI? So you saw the benefits that you get. But why GUVI is interested in placing you? Why companies are hiring through GUVI is another important thing here, basically. So it's basically direct hiring partners. So in that case, it's not going to be like an off-campus where you don't know where you're coming from. They basically know what is your profile. Every company who's hiring through you would have your GitHub in their hand. HRs would have that. And basically, they'll get the JDs. I'll tell you, I'll explain you how things are working here. So companies basically get the JDs from us, basically. So if you check on the bottom part, you'll understand companies share the JDs with a job description with us, and we will train you as per the JDs. Our curriculum is designed as per the JDs. So in that case, let's say, for example, if you take Infosys Mysore campus, it has around 6 months of training, where once you get selected, you'll have to have a waiting period. Then you'll have to go to Infosys campus, wait for 6 months, and where Infosys is going to spend a lot of cost on you. There's hiring cost involved. There is training cost involved, where 6 months of training is needed. So, but here, once you get trained under GUVI, what happens basically is, we are going to provide you with, provide the companies with a trained resources. So instead of putting you on a bench, you're directly getting into a job, project basically. So that's a kind of an advantage why companies are hiring through us. So instead of having these many costs, hiring costs, training costs, 6 months, and directly they come and hire through us, and they get the trained resources directly from us and taking it forward. This is the benefit for the companies. So, and what is the benefit GUVI going to get? So first you saw what is the benefit that you are going to get. And the second benefit that you saw, companies hiring through us, or how they're going to get the benefit. And the third thing that you're seeing, how GUVI is going to get benefited, why we are interested in placing you. So one thing that I want to tell you here is it's a win-win-win situation where student is getting benefited, GUVI is getting benefited, and the hiring company is also getting benefited. How? I'll give an example of how things works. Let's say, for example, if you're getting placed for 10 lakhs, okay, the companies pay GUVI 8.33% for trained shortlisted candidates. So in that case, what happens is, if you are getting placed for 10 lakhs, the 10 lakhs is yours. Nobody's going to touch that. But company is going to pay 8.33% to GUVI because we are giving them, we are saving them so much. We're going to save them so much. So let's say, for example, if you're getting placed for 5 lakhs, the company will charge us 8.33. They'll pay us 8.33. That is 43,000 only for placing you. Company will pay us. If you're getting placed for 10 lakhs, 8.33%, that is 83,000. Only for placing you, company will give us for giving them a trained resources. So in that case, the higher the package you go, the more benefit that GUVI is going to get, the more benefit you will also get. That's the reason we will start off from the highest package to the lower package, so that you are not going to get disappointed. You crack into bigger companies. Once you crack into bigger companies, we're going to get more benefit, as simple as that. So this is the reason you'll see IIT, IIMs, incubating us. It's an innovative idea. No other institute in India is doing this kind of a model. And these are few testimonials that I wanted to share. I'll go through fast, where, this is the highest package, around 21 lakhs we have placed, where, like we had candidates starting off from 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, directly pushing them into bigger companies. Is basically requires good, strong knowledge in taking it forward, cracking off top-notch company. These are recent placements in Ernst & Young, Microsoft, and getting 57% hike. We start off from the scratch, guys. One thing that I wanted to take it forward with this slide is basically we start off with, even if you have zero coding knowledge, we're going to take it forward with the until you get placed. And a few candidates have got even rejected in 23 companies. We have helped them crack into after 23rd company. How we are going to support you, how we are going to help you in taking it forward is the biggest thing that GUVI does for you guys actually. From chemical engineering, from mechanical engineering, 300% hike. So right from, starting off from the scratch, they started off with us. And one more important thing here is we have a kind of a rule set by Research Park, and GUVI also follows this rule. Let's say, for example, we have to have, before starting off any batch, we need to have around 270 plus job requirements in hand, because once you finish off, once you graduate out of the program, we can place you. That is one major reason that we have this. Another rule number 2 basically is we only take in candidates who we can give placements. We don't want to waste your money and time, because you have a precious time and you're going to invest your hard-earned money, right? So when you're investing your time and money, it matters a lot for us. So in that case, we wanted to choose only who we can place, we take them, or else we don't even take them in. That's the reason there's something called pre-boot camp. I'll explain it to you shortly on how things are working. So these are the placement record that we have, around 378 students that we have graduated from 2019 to 2020. We had many students who are current college students who are studying from UK, USA, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, around 1,200, 300 students who have, basically have joined us only for, learning from us and taking it forward. These are the placed students. 2462 is the number of students that we have, basically, opted out for placements, opted for the placements. 2219 have students already placed on, and 243 are still in the learning phase, where they still around 1 month or 2 months of program that they've completed and taking it forward. And one thing that might have a fear on you, or basically I told you the rule number 2 is basically getting in candidates who we can give placements, correct? So last batch we had the statistics where around 107 students who have applied for the pre-boot camp. The pre-boot camp, I'll explain it to you very shortly, next few slides, where around 107 students have attended the pre-boot camp, out of which only 37 we have taken them for the main program. Rest of the 70 candidates, we rejected them because we found out that they're not putting in the efforts. We only want committed students who wants to achieve in their life. So in that case, we got to be choosing only candidates who we can give placements. 70 candidates, we have rejected them and we have refunded. Initially, we have a kind of a selection process and only those candidates we have taken them. Highest package being around, 19.5 and a current, average package, hike of working professionals around 30 to 50% hike that they've gotten taken it forward. And there's something called pre-boot camp, which I told you, right? There's something called pre-boot camp and a main boot camp. Pre-boot camp is nothing but initially we take it forward with the process where one thing that I wanted to tell you here is, pre-boot camp. What is basically what's going to happen in the pre-boot camp is we have 2 live sessions, which is conducted by, our, mentors from, IITs or people from, industry who would come and take the sessions. And after that, there would be a kind of a session, doubt clearing session that would happen. So there'll be something called SWOT analysis. That SWOT analysis is nothing but a kind of to analyze you, whether you can get placed or not. What is the package that you can get placed? So we do have a HR interview, placement interview, and a tech team kind of an interview to analyze you. What is the package that you can expect, whether you can get placed or not, whether, you're taking it forward, because it's an important decision that you're going to make, right? After that, once you finish off the pre-boot camp, once you step into the main program, we're going to have something called a placement, like an interview assurance that will be provided to you. A kind of a written document states that we're going to take care of your placements until you get placed. So once you're done with that, you jump into the main program, and then we take it up with the process and proceed and take it forward for the main program. So you would have on the pre-boot camp, you'll have a kind of an alumni meetups to tell you how did they get placed, what did they do to crack off these top-notch product-based companies and taking it forward. And so when it comes to most important thing, when it comes to program fees, this is for others, guys. You have an exclusive offer for you. So where this is for others, where the total program fees comes around 78,800, where you do have multiple EMIs, 6,800 per month for around 12 months EMI option that you have. And you'll have to kind of a pre-boot camp that I told you, right? A kind of a selection criteria, whether you can get placed or not, we will analyze you, where you'll have to pay around 5,500 in total to block your seat. This is for others, which is also 100% refundable. But for you guys, I'll tell you how things are working. For people who have taken this time, who've taken your time to, spend so much time with us, we're going to give you around 13,000 discount only till today. This is only till today, around 65,800. Basically, you don't have to pay 70,800. You're going to save around 13,000, basically, and you're going to pay only 65,800, which will be around 5,800 per month for around 12 months. And how is it going to impact your processes? Let's say, for example, 3 months or 5 months is the program, correct? At max, sixth month, correct? So 3 months is the program, 5th month, 3 months to 5 months, weekday and weekend. At max 6 months, you'll get your placements done. So rest of the 6 months, it becomes easy for you to pay because you'll be already on a job. Correct. So that becomes easy for you to pay. So 6 months, 3 to 5 months is the program. At max 6th month, you'll get your placements done. So rest of the 6 months, it becomes easy for you to pay because you'll be already on a job. And only for people attending this webinar, so you're going to get an instant discount, right? You're going to pay only 500, not 5,000. It's also 100% refundable. 7 days refundable money back guarantee is there. And absolutely you have nothing to lose. Give it a shot, give it a try. And then, we'll have an impact on the pre-boot camp. So one more interesting thing here is, why 12 months EMI? Why not 5 to 6 months, basically? So, very simple. Other institutes are focusing only on, basically not getting your placements done, correct? So, but we are 100% confident that we can place you once you put in the 100% effort. We're going to give you 600 plus, we have lot direct companies hiring up. So here, very simple, as I told you, repeating again. So 1st month to 6 months during the program, you will have to, contribute, from your thing. 7th month to 12th month, it becomes easy for you to pay because you'll be already on a job and taking it forward. Correct. And as I told you, only today you have this offer on how to take it forward. And this offer around 150 students a year, correct? Right. So this offer is only for around 25 students. During this webinar, you can register for the program. I'll explain you, once you register for these webinars, you get these add-ons as well. You have 100 plus self-learning program that's provided to you, 26 certified webinars, 6 certified workshops that will be provided to you. All these self-learning programs that you see in our portal, right? All are given to you as complimentary. You don't have to be, purchasing anything separately. This offer is only for first 25 people who register register for this program. And one thing that I wanted to end up is you guys are trusting us in coming, and I can be 100% sure that your investment in this program is in safe hands. And we wanted you to tell you that basically this is the most important decision that you're going to take it in your life. So it's a duty and responsibility to make sure that you're achieving your dreams. Our request is 100%, give your 100% effort, and rest is taken care from our end. And I'll on the chat box, I'll be dropping you on how to register. This is the complete procedure to block your seat. So basically, you'll have to pay 500, and I'll be, our team would be sharing you the link on how to take it forward. This is a screenshot of the payment has to be shared, on the specified number that is given to you. And these are the details that is required, guys. Name, student, working professional, or looking out for a job. Email ID and phone number has to be sent on WhatsApp to this particular number. Thank you, guys. And thanks for your time. And Arun sir would take it forward from here. Shivanjali, you can take it forward. I'll share you guys the the details on how to register on the chat box. And do register. It's only for 25 people who register by today, guys. So only today, top 25 people would get the advantage of 13,000 discount. Register today and get your things done. And I'll take it over. Yeah, thank you, Shivanjali. Shivanjali, you can take it over.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. There's a 2 minutes poll. Once that is done, we'll resume the session. Yeah, thanks. Guys, the poll is live. We would request you to take 2 seconds to give the poll, and we can resume the session. Yeah, thank you, guys. Arun sir, you can go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Shivanjali. Okay, let me start sharing my screen and get it started. Okay, so this is where we left about the looping. Okay, so I hope you guys have tried it, or else like try it. I'll wait for 5 minutes. Okay, I'll reshare the link so that you can have a link at. Where is the chat? Okay, so it's reshared. Okay. The next topic is like a next important thing after the looping is logic and pattern. Okay. And also tracing and debugging. These are the two things which you should be familiar with. So for gaining the logic stuff, so as I said earlier, start with the code kata stuff. In code kata, we have organized the stuff in a proper way where you can get it started with level by level and then move ahead with this. Okay, so code kata is the best place where you can start with the logic. And for tracing and debugging, okay, we have another thing. Like I'll show this one. Let's say in GUVI itself for Python, we have something called debugging. So this will help you to understand line by line. For example, this is how it is running it. If I give next, first it will come to this 11 number, and then print would be here. So once print is there, the output print is printed here. And then the second array is started. The second array, this is how it is kept in. So you can see the things visually in IDE. I don't know how many IDEs will have this feature, but in GUVI IDE, we have this feature. This is one important thing which you should all experiment at the first point of time. So especially when you're learning Python. So if you learn Python, you can apply this to any languages because you should be able to visualize. For example, I said Nishant 3 is the last value. So that is a single variable and it is having a single value. And whereas students is an array of value, which is nothing but a list. We call that as a list in Python. And that is where it is. See, it starts from the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that, it goes on. Okay. And it then comes the loop. This is where we were trying to understand this one. So when we go into the loop, it doesn't go anywhere next line. The reason is it is -2. Okay. If I go and check the stuff. Not to exit with this. Yeah. Here instead of 2, let's say I for the simplicity, I give it for 3. Okay, so that it will be easy for us. We go on debug. Okay, line by line, first line, second line, print. We got the output, and then we got the array, and then the loop starts. So when the loop starts, if you see I value is 0, the first one, and print students of I. So which means that we got Dinesh here. Okay, which is the first value, this one. Okay. And then if I go to the next one, okay, so now the I value is 1. So which means that 110 will come in. Okay. If I go there, the I value hasn't incremented because I haven't crossed it. If I cross this line, I value became 2. So students of 2 is nothing but the date of birth. Okay. If I go on, I'll get that. I mean, I've given a wrong date of birth, but that will be the thing. And the third one is like the next one, it is over because I've only given 3 numbers and it will get executed. Okay. This is how you can get it started with it. Okay. So this is a debugger. So as a student or the first time learner of Python, this would be very, very important to visualize. Okay. So best programmer is a guy who can visualize a lot. Okay. Like how people read books. Okay. People always tell you to read books, right? The reason for that is it helps you to visualize a lot. When you read something in the book, you can imagine. So when your imagination is wild, that is where you can go to a lot of things. Okay, good or bad, you can go to a lot of places. Okay, the same way here, by default, it helps you to visualize. So if you're able to visualize that stuff, then these 2 items would be easier. Logic and pattern would be much more easier. Okay, the next one is variables and operators. Okay, now we have seen that variables is something which will help you to store a value. So what are the challenges or the constraint the variable has? It is case sensitive. Okay, what it means is this A and capital A is not same. The lowercase and capital uppercase A is not same. So it is very, very case sensitive. So let's say I have a variable name like this. So I change this to student. Okay. And I print student, capital letter student. Here, sorry, here it is, student. Okay, when I do it, we are actually expecting this value to be printed. That's how we have seen it last time, right? But this will go and take this one because these 2 are completely different items, 2 different items. If you go and see the debug part, okay. See, I have 2 values. So though it reads the same word student, this is capital S, this is small s. Okay. This is a value of Nishant, which is from this line. And this is from Nishant 1, which is cross this line. If I go on it, it will update only the lowercase student, not the uppercase student. Okay. So this is one thing you should be aware of it. The first thing is it is case sensitive. Okay. And latest value only survives, which you know. Okay. And the next part is the operators. The operators are straightforward. The operators are nothing big or challenging stuff. So these are some of the operators which you need to understand in Python. So other than this operators, for example, plus, minus, addition, subtraction, those are division, those kind of things you already know it. Okay, these operators you need to understand. For example, modulus operator, double slash operator. What is plus one? This one, and bitwise and in. For example, in operator already you have used it. We have seen it. Like for example, range in. Okay, this is an operator, inbuilt operator. The same way, let's say that like let's try something like what is the other operator we need to try? Percentage. Okay, let's say value. I'll remove all these things. Value 1 equal to 10. Value 2 equal to 2. Let's keep it. Hi. Let's keep 3. This coming just a typing error thing. Okay. Print. Okay. Value 1 mod value 2. Okay, that is the operator. Okay. When I run it, I'll be able to get 1. Okay. The question is, what is this 1? Where this 1 came in? Okay. So the percentage operator is called modulus operator. It is the remainder operator. When you divide 10 by 3, like 3 times, which is 9, remainder is 1. And that is what it is. So let's test it out. Like, let's say if I give 11, it should be 2, because 11 minus 9, it is 2. Okay. See, we got it. If it is 12, okay. If it is 12, the remainder would be 0, because there is no remainder. It is perfectly divisible by 3. So remainder is 0. That is how it is. So this is one, this is how you can test out all the operators. You can do the same thing with the double slash operator, plus wise, and go and search for bitwise operator. In you have already seen. Okay, these are the other things which you need to practice a little bit. These are like another 20-minute job kind of it, where if you try all those things, you will be able to understand the stuff. Okay, and these are the values that you can keep it in this one. Okay, so these are all our numbers. So it doesn't look like a number here, but it is a number. Okay, complex number we call that as. Okay, and the same way, these are all strings. Okay, strings are nothing but sequence of letters. Like I am a string means it is a combination of letters. Arun, Prakash, Nishant, all those things are a combination of letters like that. So in generally other languages, it can be only double quotes. That's how it used to be. Okay, in Python, it could be double and triple also. Okay, double and triple also. If you have triple quotes, which means that it is multi-line string, you can have it in 3 lines. Okay, if you see that these two are same thing. Okay, one thing which you need to understand is, like, when you start with one type of quotes, you have to end with the same type of quotes. For example, if you start with double quote, you should end with double quotes. If you start with triple quotes, you should end with triple quotes. If you mix match, that will throw an error. I will show you that part as well. Okay, let's take some name whose name is last name. Okay, Behra. Right. Come on, BHERA. Okay, same way we'll take some other string also. Praveen. Okay, so obviously you can't divide. So if you try to run it, it will throw an error. Okay, which is natural. Okay, reload, no problem. See, not all the arguments can be converted due to string formatting. Yeah, obviously, which is straightforward. So this line will not work. So we'll try to just to print it and check it out. Value 1, print value 2. Okay, if I do it, reload run. See, I've got 2 names. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it's a double quotes or single quote. The only thing is you can't mix it. For example, I start with a double quote and end with a single quote. That might challenge you. See, it says that EOL, end of line scanning. So you started something, but I am not finishing seeing the end of line. in the string literal. So it's called string literal. Okay, so that is one thing which you need to do it. Okay, so this is about strings. Okay, and then there is another type of loop called while loop. Okay, while loop is same as for loop only thing is like here the control is given to you. In for loop Python you use the function called range, right? So in while loop it is your job to control the function. Okay, it could be a single thing, it could be multiple things. Okay, for example, it could run through a tuple, dictionary, or anything else, anything iteratable. It's called iteratable, which means that it is movable. Okay, next kind of it. Okay, we'll show that the stuff as well. In general, other languages we call this an arrays. Okay, if you are from C, C++, Java, or C# world, it's called an array. Here the equivalence of the same thing is called list. Okay, we have variations of the same thing. For example, string, tuple, dictionary, all are arrays. Okay, but there are subtle differences in that one. Okay, for example, tuple is this array, but it starts with the C bracket, not with the square bracket. Okay, and string is also, you might have seen string already with the names. It look like a normal string, but actually internally it is an array. Okay, my tuple. So if I receive my tuple of 2, it will be 0, 1, and 2. This would be the number. Okay, if I see my string of 2, it will be 0, 1, and L would be the value. Okay, 2 and L would be the value. We'll check it out, that part, both the things. Okay, let's say if it is a Praveen, right? First one, let's keep a tuple. Okay, let value be a tuple. Okay, 2, 31, 45.5, single quote, male, what else we can give? Yeah, true or false, Boolean. Okay, true, capital T. Let me check. I don't know the syntax part of it for the Boolean. Okay, string literal here. I have to close it. Enough. Yeah, it works fine. Okay, so here if I want to access, I can access the same way as this one. For example, array value of 2, value 1 of 2, and value 2 of 2. Okay, so it will be like Behra, which is 0, 1, and 2. This would be my expectation is 43. Let's see the output. Okay, and for this the expectation would be 0, 1, and 2. It will be A would be the expected output. If I run it, I'll be able to get that. Okay, so this is how tuple and arrays are. The same way I'll give value 3 as well. Value 3. Okay, the same way it would be the list. Probably I'll copy the same values so that I can show a difference in that. And it will be value 3. Here I must equal to. Okay, if I give it, so in terms of output, I don't know why it is reloading multiple times. Okay, see, for tuple and the list, the output is same. Okay, there is no change in the output part. Okay, the next question naturally which comes in, then what is the difference between these two items? If both are same, why do we have 2 items? Okay, the only difference is, like, let's say if I have value 1 and I want to change this to something else, like value of 1, instead of 2 I want to change it to 3. Okay, and the value 3, which is a list. Okay, the same way I'll change the value, try to change the values to 3. Okay, if I try to do that and run it, so I'll get an error. Okay, the first one, which is a tuple, this is called tuple. Okay, or tuple, whichever way you want to pronounce it, tuple. Okay, the tuple is a fixed value, or you can't modify it. Okay, when I set it for once, you can't change it at any time. For example, here I'm trying to change it, it is not allowing it. Let's say I'm commenting this statement, okay, and I run it. Okay, the same way I'm changing the list, so it allows me to do it, to see the value. Let's say 0 1, right? This is 1. Let me print 1. Okay, just to see whether the value is changed or not. If I do that, see the value is changed to 3 for this one. Okay, which is a list. Okay, the list will allow you to modify. Okay, or it is called it is mutable. Okay, whereas tuple is immutable, or you can't modify it. It's a basic English thing. Don't worry too much about it. Mutable means anything changeable. You might have seen the X-Men, right? Mutants, the same way. So value is a the list is a mutant where you can change it, whereas tuple is a non-mutant, which is like us. You can't change it. So we are in a certain behavior and we'll be like that. We can't change it. Okay, so this is us humans. This is list is X-Men. Okay, or mutants. Okay, this is the difference between these two items. So is this part clear for you guys? So the list and list a tuple, and obviously string is nothing but a list. Is it clear for everyone? Anybody has any questions? List always contains a square bracket. There is no thing. How to get input as a list? Okay, input as a list is not that straightforward. That needs little bit of changes and tweaks. Okay, so typically we use a loop to do it. Okay, we'll get it and then put it like that. We'll put an array kind of. So you'll use a loop to get the inputs one by one. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, now we have got the clarity of list and tuple. Okay. Okay, now I want you guys to have one more item called dictionaries. Okay, so the arrays is like simple values, right? Whereas the dictionary has a key value pair. Okay, it has a key and a value. Okay, it has a key and a value. For example, for 1, it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 2, it could be any value. It doesn't need to be like this. So think like your phone number, thing, your name and phone number, that would be paired, right? So it could be like that. So I'll show an example for it. Phone details. Okay, let's say key would be Arun and number would be 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, the separating part would be colon. Okay, and the next item could be Shivanjali. Okay, and the value would be 3 4 something. Okay, if I go and print it, it will be giving you the output. See, I got it. And if I want to access this one, okay, so typically in list, how I said it, like we have to use the value 1 or 0, right? Let's try this here. Okay, if I see that, so it says that key error. So it says that, sorry boss, I don't know what is the key, 0 key. Okay, so here the key would be Arun. Okay, if I run it, I'll get the output. And the second key would be Shivanjali. Like that it would be. See, so instead of numerical indexes, how we see it in the list, in dictionaries, it will be a string index. Okay. So if you remember the first example which I gave it, Sridevi 1, Sridevi 2, Sridevi 3, that is a list. Okay, where the index is numerical. Whereas the second one, Arun, and then you have a nickname or something like that, right? Arun, Chotu, Moto, or tall, short, all those things. Those are string-based indexes. So here in dictionary, we have a string-based indexes, which is called keys. Okay, keys are nothing but indexes, but it is a string. Okay, that's all. That is the only difference. Apart from that, it is so nothing new in that. Okay, so that is next thing. Okay, then what else? Okay, functions. So functions are, as I said, you are right now you have used most of the function. One is print. Okay, and the same way you can write your own function also. Okay, it's called you can have a def and then the function name. Def means definition, and the name which you give it, like how I print, it's called add me, and then the parameters. If I give it, like it will add and then print it and then return. If I use this one, it will get you the return. Okay, this is a function name and these are the two parameters. Okay, and the value returned is the summation of two numbers. Okay, which is returned to the storage variable called A1. Okay. Okay, now we have understood the concepts. Okay, next one is like just understanding the concept is really useless. Okay, that is to get familiar with. For example, if I try to teach balancing without giving you a cycle or a bike, it is useless. Okay, so until unless you go and solve a problem, you will not learn anything. So the best way to solve a problem is to start with the logical stuff, which is the code kata. The next step would be have a concept. For example, you can have a write a loop until you press the value q. Okay, you know it, right? Like in some games, till you press quit, it will be coming, right? The same way it could be. And this third one would be, second one would be Uber billing and the number guessing game. So there is a function called rand. Okay, you can use the rand function to do that game. Okay, number series. So in the school days or the aptitude test, you will have the number series, right? Like if I give you some series of numbers, it will give the nth term kind of it, like 1 3 5 7 something would be, it could be square and the addition of 2, those kind of number series you can play it. And the hangman game, if you are familiar with the school days, the same way you can use the hangman game. Pascal triangle is pretty popular and you will find example code all over the place. Okay, and password hashing, this is kind of little advanced stuff, but if you are able to understand this, this will be useful. And rock paper scissors. So rock paper scissors, one player would be the user, which is you, another one would be random generated by the system. So you can practice all those things. And the last one is there is something called rest countries. Okay, so you can try that as well. Okay, and after learning the concept, you build something. Okay, or else it's useless. As I said, ultimately the company hires you to build something. Okay, so you learn to build these kind of apps that will be useful for you. Okay, so you guys can take a screenshot of this. If you try this with the concept which I taught, it will be more than enough for you to get good grasp of the stuff. Okay, for example, the number series will use loop. I mean, everything almost uses loops only. Okay, and by default everything has a variable and array. Okay, and rest countries would be a dictionary. Okay, password hashing also would be a dictionary. Okay, like that you can have it. Uber billing would be like a more of a numerical stuff. So like that. So you can try all this concept and then get yourself familiarized with the Python stuff. And if you're learning JavaScript also, the same thing applies in JavaScript. Only thing is the syntax differs. You can do it. And as I said, code kata, you can have this one, MAS, we call that as a mass. Okay, and also bitwise, if you can do it, it will be good. Math, array, and string are the important thing which you need to skill up yourself. And then to additionally, you can start with the bitwise stuff. Okay, and any question?